Sometimes in life, you find yourself on the right side of the line.
If you had a mullet, it would be out of business in the front and party in the back.
Sorry about tomorrow.
What's the point of the wife beater?
Live from Texas, this is the Dryline Farmer Podcast. You hear that? It's Brent and Landon, and this is the Dryline Farmer Podcast.
Okay, Landon, think of a number between 1 and 2, and I'm going to guess it.
2.
Oh, that's what I picked. 2. Do I pass the test? Oh, man. That's probably what the tests are like. Oh, yeah. Hey, guys, this is the Dryline Farmer Podcast, and this is your host, Brent Carlson, along with his co-host, Landon Nolan. Landon, what's going on in your psychedelic world?
Oh, it's pretty psychedelic. It's just crazy.
I can only imagine what the psychedelics of the co-op must be like. Y'all probably go over and find some corn to steam up or something.
That's more psychotic than psychedelic.
Or is that just the barns with the wet corn that the farmers sneak in?
Yeah.
We always do what?
All the farmers know where the probe's going.
Mm-hmm. So before these guys retired, they would make us so at one location you'll have the way the scale and the probe is set up, you always have to weigh first and then pull forward about another 15 feet before the probe will hit your trailer. And they would never tell you which end they were going to probe, so they'd keep going and going. I'm like, dude, it's October the 3rd. Dude, it's Halloween. This stuff is dry, okay?
Yeah.
It's 15 or less. Get off our ass and just let me dump. One time I tried to, we were at a field from the opposite direction of what we usually come in, so I just come in straight, normally, and he goes, you got to come back around and circle. I'm like, what a jackass, dude. We've been working with each other for like 10 years, and you still don't trust me? Anyway, I was always kind of put out about that, but, anyway, I guess there's worse things in life. That, of course, that guy was Landon, so he was always a dick when it came to probing trucks. No pun intended.
Yeah.
But
I get a 3-inch probe there.
Yeah, we'd always get just the stuff on top. We never would have.
That is very dry.
We would never have to. We would always bury that shit down at the bottom of the hopper because we knew it was. Always. Well, that's when the probe worked because most of the time the location of the probe didn't work, but it was either a vacuum. I remember we were like the first load of the season, and there was like 4 or 5 freaking bird's nests up in the hoses, and the suction wasn't very. It was pretty weak, so we were.
What's the old probe saying? Two in the wheat, 1 in the. Just kidding.
two in the wheat. And 1 in the steam.
1 in the Milo.
1 in the Milo. But I digress. Well, guys, like I said, this is the Dryline Farmer Podcast, and today I'm glad I wrote down notes because if I didn't, I was completely forget what we were going to talk about. But psychics, we know they all go through a rigorous training process, or you would think they would be gifted, like it would just be an automatic gift, like you wouldn't have to train to be a psychic, but apparently there's exercises. But for sure we know that there's tests. And the reason I know this is because I hear it on the radio. And this is on through the TuneIn app, because if you go under or get close to any overhead highline pole of any kind, your AM radio goes completely to shit, as if you were on Mars and the radio station you are trying to reach is broadcasting from somewhere beyond Saturn. So anymore, you have to go through your IP TuneIn app or other radio apps. So and when
it turns out there's a lot of highline wires,
and it turns out there's a lot of electricity going around. So you have to go through your cell phone. But it's so anyway, when you get these apps, Landon, those are programs that you can get on a smartphone.
Oh, okay. It's not like something you eat.
No, it's not an appetizer. But
okay.
no. So anyway, when you do those, you get the national broadcast, and when you get national broadcasts, along with the national broadcast, you get the national commercials. And so one of these commercials that I ran across was a psychic hotline, which I didn't even know those were still a thing, but apparently they are. And this is apparently a very reputable psychic hotline because their psychics are tested. And I wish I should have written down. I bet I can Google it right now and just do a psychic test. Landon, you've probably looked up this several times before, right after looking up time machines, and desired year was 1982. But let's see here. Psychic test. Explore Dahia's Spain's board psychic test. Let's go back here and do psychic tests. I know it was in Los Angeles.
One of these is psychic test on riddle.com.
On riddle.com?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I typed in psychic test commercial, and the first one that came up was ESP Clairvoyance Psychic Powers Test, which is a video on YouTube. And it says, today, Margaret and I put me through a Psychic Powers ESP Paranormal Superpowers test with a set of Superman memory cards. This is almost worth pulling in a trademark violation just to play this video on our podcast. But I just want to see what these chicks look like. So I'm going to turn down that volume there as the ad goes by. Let's see here. Oh, okay. So maybe these people...
Welcome to my channel. Today we are going to be doing a simple psychic test.
So it's a dude in one of those golf hats that the dudes from Scotland wear that's got the... I don't know what kind of caps they call it, Landon, but you know what I'm talking about, like Payne Stewart Payne Stewart wore.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And Bryson the douchebag wears. I forget.
Bryson the douchebag.
Yeah, Bryson the douchebag. Let's see what
Not
they call it.
Not a fedora, is it?
No, not a fedora. Bryson de Cambo cap. Let's see. It's a... Are they calling him a driver golf cap? Okay, here we go. Brian DeChambeau. Why do I have to go through driver hats? A Puma driver hat. So I guess if you've got like a 1937 Rolls-Royce convertible, like all the rich people do in the movies back in the 50s, always drove, and they had this driver's hat. And I'm sure they probably wore driver gloves. Landon, what would you need other than being a complete tool? What would you need, or a race car driver? What would you need driving gloves for?
Maybe if it's like -20.
And your fancy schmancy car doesn't have a top or a heater. I mean, they pretty much put heaters in the very first models of cars, I think, because all they had to do is get heat from the radiator.
I need to find a putting hat.
Yeah, that's for sure. So, but yeah, so the driver cap, I just never was a big fan. No, I kind of like the fedora. It's kind of, I don't know, not really trendy, but it's kind of, I don't know, defining, or maybe, how would you say it? I
would say that it's douchey in its own way.
No, it's not, because I think they're kind of cool. So it's makes you look kind of intelligent. Almost makes you look like a detective. So I don't know. It's pretty.
So my question is, if you were doing a psychic test, couldn't you like figure it out within one question?
Well, that's what I never understood. Like, if you called a psychic hotline, why are they asking for your name? Shouldn't they already know that? And didn't they already know? I mean, if I was a psychic and I was sitting at I don't know if they have like a bank of telephones back in the day before they had cell phones, but wouldn't every answer from every single psychic say, I knew you were going to call? You know, they don't say hello, you know.
Hello, Reginald. How are you?
The only way they would have pulled that off is if they were the very first ones to get caller ID. You know,
right.
That's where caller ID originated from, is the psychic hotline, and that's how they got everybody locked into that 5-year contract.
Yeah, the guy that created Call ID, man, he made some money before he released that to the public.
Yeah, so I mean, maybe the psychics were onto something. I'm sure it was a psychic that probably started the whole caller ID thing, because whenever they just call and they answer, "Hello, Landon," what the? So yeah, I would pretty much fall for that every time. But no, so back, yeah, we're getting off of caps here. Anyway, so this guy is wearing that driver cap, and he's got a picture-in-picture with, I guess, a gal. She looks like a pretty normal chick. I mean, she's white, got glasses, brunette, and obviously I can't play their video over ours, but I would be interested. What kind of test would you make for somebody, Landon, that would be like a psychic test that it was like bulletproof, that there was no way they could like fake around it? Would it be like just putting fingers behind your back, or would it be,
maybe asking them where Jimmy Hoffa is?
Jimmy Hoffa, or where all the votes in Georgia went, or
or where they came from,
better yet, where they originated from, or I don't know what happened. Who really killed JFK? And
I think the fingers behind the back. I think the test that they do on Ghostbusters, that one's pretty good.
Yeah.
Remember when it's like the girl and the guy, and he's like, what's on this card?
Oh yeah.
You just keep shocking the dude.
Oh.
like the girl, the blonde girl, he's like, "You're so good. I think you might have it."
Yeah. Uh-huh.
You might have the gift.
So they only, like, of course, Star Wars, they had the Jedi test, and it was pretty much a psychic test. They had in that very first Phantom Menace episode, they had the
that'd be a good one, to just blindfold somebody and have this laser shooting at them, and they got to block it with a lightsaber.
Yeah, having a floating ball with a laser on it, and then they have to blindfold it, and yeah, you have to hit it. Like,
I would say close your eyes, and I'm either gonna kick you in the nuts or punch you in the face.
Yeah, yeah. The whole time you've got Harrison Ford sitting there saying, "Wow, that just looks like luck to me." So yeah. It's but no, so the fingers behind the back, I mean, that's pretty standard. I mean, you could go with the whole pick a number, or I don't know, what's my card, and you're not really even holding cards. Like I would have a deck. I would just have like an empty box and maybe put like a couple marbles in it and tell them what card. And if they sit there and think and they already don't know it's not marbles, then I'm pretty sure they're not the real deal. So, as far as training a psychic, I mean, is it like a Hogwarts thing, like Harry Potter? They go off into an unknown location and they're doing do they just all I can think of is the only training is like electroshock. Because, I mean, if you don't already have it.
Or speaking of hats, you'd need something like a sorting hat. Speaking of Harry Potter.
See, now.
A psychic hat.
Yeah, no. Isn't it like the kind of like a wizard hat or something? Or is it like
it's like a witch's hat.
Witch's hat. Yeah.
Because I don't know if you've ever watched Robot Chicken, but they do a Harry Potter episode and they put that hat on his head and it just goes virgin.
So that is so weird that you mentioned that, because I was watching a video today and somebody was talking. There was a guy on there. I think it's James Marsden, and maybe he does. I think he's on there and he does voices for Robot Chicken, but I've never have watched it. And he was talking about I think they did a Star Wars parody one time, maybe on Robot Chicken.
They do. Seth Green does it. They have one where instead of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, it's Retirement Home Ninja Turtles. They're in there, and I think they're like hooking up with some of the Golden Girls. It's pretty damn fun.
Hey, that was one of our early episodes, was who was the hottest Golden Girl. So yeah, B. Arthur, she was kind of like last place. I think it was Blanche, wasn't it? Or because not Betty White.
I went with Sophia.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. You went with Sophia.
I like that personality.
Yeah, she's pretty feisty, sarcastic, and I don't know, something about that perm that really got Landon's gears grinding. So,
she was the second youngest one. So.
And I guess Betty, she's the last one standing. I don't know. She's got to be. They got to be pumping her full of something, man, cocaine or meth or something, because she's got to be crowding 100 at this point.
She's getting pretty close. What did she turn this year? 96, maybe?
I don't know. I'm not her secretary, so I haven't really heard. But yeah, she's pumping something in there. Those veins are coursing some serious vitamins. But so we can go back to the psychic test. I actually clicked off of it, but maybe that's because I've already lost interest in it. Psychic test.
I knew you were going to change the subject.
Yeah, too hot geriatrics. Okay, I'm kind of scared to. They have apps. psychic tests on the App Store. Let's see what is going to have the least amount of viruses here. Let's see. Are You Psychic apps on Google Play? So Google Play, that's a pretty safe. Are You Psychic? You don't have any devices. So Are You Psychic? Find out. Wouldn't you already know? I mean, if you don't know you're psychic.
Yeah. If you have to ask, you're probably not psychic.
Yeah. It says test and develop your intuitive abilities with interactive Zener cards. The same test used in formal university trials. I wonder what universities they are. Maybe Phoenix Online and HogwartsU.edu.
Yeah. Hogwarts, the real one.
So this app features 5 different decks to test your affinities. This sounds like a game of Magic the Gathering. Interactive focus exercises developed by psychologists. A personal guide who will provide insights. Oh, I'm sure they're extremely insightful. Which gives you analytical tips to boost your results. Online multiplayer mode tests to test your skills with users all over the world. Sounds like an Xbox. A global leaderboard to track your performance against others. They actually have a psychic scoreboard. How do you think they'd score everything? Yeah,
I don't know.
and don't they know who's already going to win?
Yeah, what's the point?
Engaging in beautiful 3D graphics, calming music to improve your focus, so a meditation app, visual and haptic reward systems, and personal progress and score tracking.
I wonder if it's like baseball. If you get like 1 out of 3 right, you're going to be like a Hall of Fame psychic.
See, I always figured if a psychic's either got to be 100% or nothing, don't they? Because, I mean...
Yeah, I would say at least 80% right.
I'm going to look up how many people use psychics. How many people use psychics? Not physics. Everybody uses physics. Psychics is such a hard word to spell. There we go. Psychic services in the U.S. Here we go. Industry data, trends, stats. Landon, do you remember that 2-story house that was down the street from Sonic that had that fortune teller? You remember that? Years ago in Hereford?
No, not at all.
You don't? They tore it down. They tore that. It used to be a 2-story house, and somebody had a sign on it that had like Madam Something's fortune telling or something. You seriously don't remember that?
No, I seriously don't.
Oh man. Well, that completely. I don't. Okay, so
if you're a woman, do you have to be a madam if you're a fortune teller?
Is it a madam? So the wizards are men. Or warlocks. I only have to think it'd be a madam. Yeah, Madam Bovary. Over the 5 years to 2019, revenue for the industry is anticipated to rise at an annualized rate of 1.6% to total $2.2 billion. And they say Facebook is a drain on the world. Prior to the beginning of the current period, the industry was one of the few discretionary industries that weathered the economic downturn with relatively minimal declines. Again, why aren't all psychics lottery winners or stock traders? I mean, again, I guess maybe they can't use it for like personal gain, even though they charge for their products, which I find counterintuitive and kind of oxymoronic. But rising unemployment and greater personal financial concerns spurred many consumers to turn to psychic services for pressing financial and career advice. Well, I tell you what, Dave Ramsey better watch his ass, because if Miss Cleo ever comes back on the scene, Dave is going down for the count. Let's see. Market size.
I remember Miss Cleo.
I
kind of remember Miss Cleo.
Man, you don't. I thought you remember everything in movies and sports statistics, but when it comes to psychic,
I'm not psychic. Yeah.
Well, it doesn't take psychic to remember. So market size is $2 billion. There's 97,000 psychic services in the U.S. And
I wonder if there's a such thing as a hindsight psychic.
come down to
a hindsight psychic.
Come down to 2020 services where we tell you your past, which I guess they do.
2020 is going to be a rough year, folks.
Oh, I guess. Well, I guess fortune teller. I guess psychics do tell your past, so that kind of blows that. There's no way he could have known that. There's no way she could have known that, Madam Well, you gave her your social security number. I mean, how easy is it to be a psychic now? All they got to do is, while you've got the guy like looking at the crystal ball, all you got to do is pull your phone down beneath the table and Google him. I mean, everybody's on the internet now. That'd be pretty easy to be a psychic nowadays.
Yeah, and if nothing pops up, you just say, looks like you're a loser.
Yeah.
How did you know?
I see your background check tells me. I mean, let's see. Professional mediums lose to control group in psychic test. Here we go. Ooh, and this is even a new article. This is from bigthink.com. Control group outperforms mediums in psychic test. So, magician and renowned skeptic James Randi passed away in October. This is by Derek Barris, and this was on January of this year. He famously offered $1,000 to anyone that could prove they had paranormal abilities. Over time, the prize money grew to $1 million. Even with that kind of money on the table, no entrant ever made it past the preliminary tests. A public list of the thousands of contestants lives on in his foundation site. Numerous paranormal powers were claimed by entrants: dowsing circles, energy healing. Wait a minute, I forgot to put in the crystals. Spirit reading and communion with the dead. The latter has been stated as fact as long as we have written records. Ouija boards are still popular among certain sects. You know, I always thought it was kind of funny with a Ouija board how you're going to actually meet the paranormal world or commune with the paranormal world with a product made by Milton Bradley. I always thought that was kind of strange.
I know. The Ouija board, maybe.
Yeah, Ouija board. Connecting you and your old dead family members for over 100 years. Brought to you by Milton Bradley, not the baseball player. So would you rather contact the dead, or would you like to play Battleship tonight? Do you want to talk to Grandma or Shoots and Ladders? So
pretty sure Battleship would take a better psychic.
Yeah, I'm pretty. Yeah. So, or you could be like my kid was when he was 7 years old and cheat. My kid was already trying to cheat at Battleship. We were playing one night. We were sitting in the floor. And I think he was still about 7. He might have been 6. Anyway, we were sitting there playing. He's like, hey, I got to go get a drink real quick. And he'd hop up and he'd go back around me and try to look over my shoulder. I'm like, you cheating little bastard. Anyway, and then he'd go get a drink, come back and goes, I-10.
Yeah.
So
no, my sister used to do that. She would keep track of where you picked.
Yeah.
When you picked one of hers, she would move it where.
Oh. They learn at a young age. So a recent study by researchers in Petaluma and La Jolla assessed whether mediums could tell what had caused a person's death. The short of it, a control group of non-psychics performed better than self-professed mediums. William James believed mediumship worthy of scientific investigation. Botanist J.B. Rhine devoted his career to parapsychology, the branch of psychology he founded. While he claimed extrasensory powers to be scientifically valid, his results were never replicated and his methods were questionable. So I need to get down to what do they even actually talk about what? Okay, so here we go. A follow-up study was conducted in 2018. The researchers wanted to know if mediums could identify whether a person was alive or dead based on photographs. I don't know. Are they dead in the photograph or not dead in the photograph? After looking over 404 photographs, 5 of a dozen mediums performed better than simple chance. As there was no control group, however, the team had to keep testing. For this study, a dozen professional mediums and a dozen volunteers were recruited. Every photograph was of a deceased individual. This time, it's like, I mean, what do? They didn't put Lincoln, Washington, Kennedy. I mean, this time the task was to identify whether the person died of a heart attack, a car accident, or being shot. Each image was cropped in such a manner so that you couldn't easily recognize the cause of death. Well, this guy's got a hole going through his ear, so I'm thinking it wasn't a heart attack. While giving answers,
What if they had a picture of Elvis and they're like,
I don't know. It's kind of blurry. While giving answers,
have you been to Vegas?
While giving answers, every volunteer was scanned for changes in neural blood flow and heart rate. The results surprised the team. Overall, participants were completely full of shit. But no, it actually says participants were able to detect the cause of death of deceased individuals as statistically robust above chance levels, contrary to our expectations that mediums would perform better than controls. The controls performed significantly better than the mediums. While there were different neural responses between controls and self-professed mediums, they didn't correlate to correct answers. Even from beyond the grave, James Randi is still waiting, though it hopes and appears no one will be able to verify his impatience. Well, no, since he's dead, I wouldn't think so. So, Landon, have you ever had like a premonition or just like a simple deja vu, like this has already happened? Because I have.
I usually have daily premonitions that tell me I better find a toilet.
Yeah, I knew that was God Almighty. I knew it was going to. That's not a premonition. That's an urge, Landon.
It is a premonition.
Or an emergency, one of the two.
It's either that or contraction. I'm not sure. Once these premonitions start coming every 45 seconds, I know time is I'm on the clock.
Once you go into false labor, it's the time. Yeah, time is of the essence.
Once I start thinking of names, then
God, you're already choosing colors of the curtains. Yeah,
oh yeah.
That's not really what I was getting at, but whatever.
Always brown. It's always brown.
Oh man, my psychic powers did not somehow told me that we were going to go to that point at some time. Yeah. So, but no, I mean, I've had like. It wasn't like one of those things where it's like, I just knew that was going to happen. I mean, it felt like it's already happened before. And I'm like, was that a dream that I dreamt that? Or have you ever dreamt something that ever came true, Landon?
Oh, no. Not that I know of. I don't know. I have weird dreams. I hope they don't start coming true.
Boy, that's for sure. My wife, she started taking melatonin. We all do. But she said she started taking those melatonin gummies, and she said she started having weird dreams, but she can't remember what they are. So it's there was like a week where about our oldest boy came into our, like, this is right after he went to bed, and I'm like, surely he's got to be sleepwalking. But he would come in and ask if there were any snakes in the house. I'm like, no, dude, there's not any snakes in the house. And it's there's a little bit of sleepwalking that goes on. That's kind of genetic in our family, but I've never done it. But it's my dad has been known to do a little sleepwalking himself. So I don't know. Maybe I guess it's genetic. And I got a niece that'll kind of do it a little bit sometimes too. So it's an interesting deal, yeah. But no, yeah, psychics, I think it's safe to say that their gig is probably up, unless, I guess like they say, there's a sucker born every day, but to think that a psychic is a real deal, or
at least have a good gimmick if you're a psychic, like the one on Mallrats. Did you ever watch that movie?
I never saw. That's with Jay and Silent Bob.
Yeah, so they go see this psychic. She's got she's got her top off, and she's got two nipples on one side just next to each other, and they're like, how do you know all this? And she's like, it's the third nipple. So they leave, and as they do, she like pulls it off and starts eating it.
Oh, God. Oh, man. Is that like the third eye in yoga? They got that third eye in the middle of their head or something?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I've heard about the Mallrats movie, but is it pretty funny?
Great.
Is it?
Oh, man, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of what Clerks and those guys that did all those movies. Yeah.
Yeah, it's got Earl from My Name Is Earl. He's the best in it. Jason Lee.
I see.
And then Ben Affleck's in that one.
You're right. Yeah. Wasn't him and Matt Damon? They were kind of buddies with those guys, weren't they?
Yeah, they were in Dogma together.
Dogma, yeah. Those are cult classics.
Mallrats is by far the best one.
Yeah.
Oh, even Earl's little brother Randy's in it too.
Randy. Oh,
He spends the whole movie staring at one of those seeing eye pictures.
Oh yeah, you got to focus your eyes and 3D art.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's those were back in the early 90s and mid 90s, weren't they?
Yeah, I think this movie's 96. It's a good one.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they're probably weren't Oscar contenders, but they were good comedy legends to begin with, or nonetheless. So yeah. But no, I think we're gonna have to take a psychic test sometime, Landon, and see how we perform versus all those.
We should come up with some questions and give each other a psychic test.
We should. Maybe we'll make it a 2-parter or something. Yeah. But yeah, it's an exciting time to be able to do all that kind of stuff. So I'm trying to see if we can find any. Oh, here we go. I'm gonna do a sample psychic test. Let's see, psychic test. There we go. Are you psychic? Stat crunch. Okay, here we go. Let's see here. Okay. Are you psychic? What will become the outcome of the next flip? Heads or tails, Landon?
Tails.
Tails. Heads. You guessed tails. Wrong. Guess again. What will it be this time?
Let's go with tails because tails never fails.
All right.
Obviously.
Tails. Okay. Now, go again.
What? Oh, yeah, go again. Do what?
Tails or go again.
Oh, again. Oh, let's go heads.
Heads?
Mix it up.
You guessed heads. Correct. Guess again.
Heads.
Tails. Guess again.
It's the best out of 5. Tails.
Heads. You are not psychic. 2 correct out of 5 flips. So the test says do the coin toss 15 times to see if you can get a proportion correct above 0.6, so 60%. The probability that you get the correct answers at random is 0.5. True psychics have a proportion correct of more than 0.5.
That is
so, Landon, you're already at you're only at 0.4.
That's not bad.
Okay, I'm gonna get here.
Do I need to do 10 more?
I'm gonna do go.
Okay, heads.
Go.
Heads.
Go.
Tails.
Go.
Heads.
Go.
Tails.
Go.
Tails.
Let's see, where are we at? 4 more. Go.
Tails.
Go.
Tails.
Go.
Heads.
Go.
Tails.
God, you suck. You have 3 correct out of 15 flips.
I only got 1 out of those last 10.
You did. You were wrong as
wow.
shit, man. Oh God. All right. Now
it's starting to feel like an IQ test.
Let's see. Okay, now it's my turn. Here we go. Reset. Heads. 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 Tails. Tails. Heads. Heads. Tails. Heads. Heads. I'm picturing it, Landon. Tails.
Yeah.
Tails. Tails.
You're going to open your eyes and I'm going to be hanging brain on this Zoom meeting.
Tails. Oh, F and A. I got a correct of 9 of 15.
You
so
got
I,
it, man.
I am freaking psychic.
You have to, you're gonna have to
Take
do
that,
further-
Carl Lewis. Huh?
You have to do further testing.
I am. I'm gonna. Where's the advanced course at? Let's see. Okay, what's this one? Let's make a deal. All right, based on a popular 60s game show, let's make a deal. Play this applet to find the button that hides the fabulous prize. Okay, Landon, here. I'm going to do, I don't know why I didn't think of this earlier. Let's share a screen here. Right there. Okay. There. Can you see it?
I can. 1, 2, 3.
All right.
Let's make a deal.
Select one of the 3 buttons to try and find the prize. Pick a door. 1, 2, or 3, Landon.
2.
You have picked door 2. Switch or stay. You can select the same button again or select one of the remaining 3 buttons to see what's behind it. So do you want to stay with 2 or go with a different one?
Let's go with 1.
Oh, you lose. You were right at 2.
Hmm.
All right. Now it's my turn.
But that's the game that they do on the movie 21.
Blackjack?
No. It's in their theory class. They do like 3 doors, and he picks one. Then they say, okay,
That's
door
let's
number
make a
3
deal.
is not one.
Yeah,
Do
let's make a deal.
Right, but he's explaining the theory though. Is he picked door 2 like I did, but then they show you that door 3 is wrong. So
Yeah. So what is your odds then?
Because you have a 2 out of 3 chance of being right.
Right. Okay, I'm closing my eyes now, and I'm going with, I don't know, 1 jumped out at me right at the outset. Okay, I'm staying with 1. Damn it!
You blew it.
All right, I'm not a
You had a
psychic
67% chance of being right if you switched.
And I still missed it. Histogram with sliders. Histogram. All right.
That's something else.
I know, hysterectomy. Let's see. The histogram displays the population percentage change in the 50 states of the U.S. from 2000 to 2010. And we'll end it here. Tips. Change the starting point and bin width to see how the histogram... what the hell? How is this? Okay, that's not a deal. Okay. So we're done.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm psychic when it comes to coin flipping, but... otherwise, no, I'm not, and neither is Landon. Damn sure, and I wouldn't even take him to a football game to do the kickoff coin toss.
Brent, if you and I are ever golfing in a tournament together and we have to go into a playoff hole and flip to see who goes first, I'm gonna let you pick the coin.
Go ahead and let me call the heads or tails on that deal, because Landon, I guarantee you would land on the edge. So yeah, but well, guys, let's see, Landon, where can we find you on social media?
I am you should already know this if you're just kidding. I'm no twit Landon 44.
Landon, our retention rate's not good enough for people to know your Twitter handle.
We gotta hurry, Brent. I'm getting one of these premonitions.
We have a new audience every week. And yeah. So find Landon at no twit Landon 44. That's no twit with Landon. That's 2 T's at the end of twit for some reason. And you can find me. That's at Trader Brent. And of course, we're on the Global Ag Network. I don't know why they have us, because we haven't talked to Ag in a long time, but just because they're great people. And of course, we're all over where you can find podcasts. That's Google Play, iTunes, Spotify. Where else do I pay that I forgot about? SoundCloud, all that good stuff. So, and I think it even goes out to YouTube. So check us out there. And yeah, it's we're just Hulu's the last place we're not getting on. So. But until next time, guys, we got some rain, we got some snow, and everybody's in a little better mood now, and fertilizer tripled in price, so we got that going for us, and you can thank your local farmers co-op for that. And so we're spraying weeds now and got sprinklers back going, and we're just extremely excited about that. So guys, go ahead and check out also our good friend Casey Seymour. He's got the Moving Iron podcast, which is also on the Global Ag Network. And so be cool out there. Hopefully y'all get some more rain. Hopefully we get some more rain. And we'll ask you, what side of the line are you on?
The Dryline Farmer Podcast, a member of the Global Ag Network. There's podcasts, and then there's this, the Dryline Farmer Podcast.